Hello, I'm Dr. Smith. I'm a writer and lecturer in the areas of personal finance and investing, and today we're going to be talking about what is a credit freeze. A credit freeze, in high-level terms, is simply a lock that you're going to put on your credit, and this lock keeps creditors or lenders from being able to access your credit file. Now, why would you want to put this lock on your account? The reason you may want to consider a credit freeze has to do with identity theft. In real life, identity theft is very rarely like a Jason Bateman comedy. In real life, identity thieves want what all thieves want. And all thieves want basically two things. They want your money or they want your stuff. Now there's basically three kinds of identity theft. The first type is medical identity theft, where thieves will use your information to try to get some sort of medical or healthcare treatment. The second type is tax identity theft. This is where the thieves will use your information to try to get a tax refund from the government in your name. And the third type of identity theft is financial identity theft. This is the biggest. This is where the thieves are trying to get access to your bank account, and in some cases, they try to open up credit cards in your name. This is how a credit freeze works. Whenever you apply for a credit card, for example, be it at Belk or Amazon.com, the retailer in this case is going to contact one of the three big credit rating agencies and get a credit report on you. The creditor is going to use this credit report to determine if you're a good risk or not. If they get back a strong credit report, then they'll happily issue you the card, and they'll issue it with good terms, some of the best interest rates. However, if they get back a poor or a weak credit report from the credit rating agency, then they may not issue you the card at all, or they'll issue you one with very high interest. The key here is that the creditor has to access that credit report in order to know whether they're going to issue you the card or not. When you have a credit freeze in place, when the creditor contacts the credit rating agency and asks them for your credit report, the credit rating agency says no. This is true if you're applying for the credit or if somebody else is applying for the credit in your name. This will prevent thieves from being able to open up credit cards and other types of loans in your name. So if you're interested in freezing your credit, how do you go about doing it? Well, you need to contact the three big credit rating agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. I would recommend that you visit the websites of all three of these credit rating agencies and look for their credit freeze page, which they generally make pretty obvious. Once you set up an account, you provide them with some relatively basic information like your name, date of birth, address, and they do ask for your social security number, but setting up the freeze is very simple. Once you click submit and have frozen your credit, then each of these three credit rating agencies is going to provide you with a specific PIN number. It's very important to write this PIN number down because if you ever need to unfreeze your credit or thaw your credit, they're going to require this PIN. And that actually leads me to the biggest downside when it comes to having your credit frozen. Yes, thieves will not be able to open up a credit card in your name, but neither will you. If you want to open up a credit card or get a loan, you won't be able to because the lender's not going to be able to access your credit report. Well, there's where that PIN comes into place. So let's say that your credit is frozen, but you need to take out a loan or get a new credit card. What I would recommend that you do is ask the creditor which of the three credit rating agencies they use. Let's say that they tell you they use Equifax. Well, then you log back onto your Equifax account, use your PIN to thaw your credit, allow the creditor to access your credit report and then issue the credit card, then you refreeze the credit, protecting your account again. If this sounds like a hassle, it kind of is. If you're at the stage of your financial life where you're growing it, you're applying for credit cards, you're buying cars, you're buying homes, then having a credit freeze may not make as much sense for you because of all the hassle you're going to have to go through every time you apply for credit. However, if you're at the stage of your life where you're not applying for credit cards, you've already bought your house, you don't buy cars that often, then a credit freeze could really make sense for you. In a nutshell, credit freezes are extremely easy to set up and they're not that difficult to manage. I would recommend checking out the websites of all three credit rating agencies and seeing if you think a credit freeze might make sense for you. Well, that's all for this video. Be sure to check back again next time for more personal finance and investments topics.